Hot off the heels of season 3 of The Boys, everyone is left with one burning, searing question on their minds. Why was the cow milking scene so provocative? And if you weren't asking that before, you certainly are now. Was this a stunt cow's lactation, or was that real milk coming out of there? Today, we'll dive into this and other less dairy-infused stories coming out of the most recent season. Hold on, what milking scene? Well, for all those who missed it, fast forwarding a little too quickly on a binge watch, the dirty deed was done during episode 7 of the latest season, titled "Here Comes a Candle to Light You to Bed." After an ill-fated speech at a presidential rally, Homelander wanders through a farm and finds himself locking eyes with an unsuspecting bovine. The cow and himself share a meaningful glance. He takes a moment to scan to see if anyone's watching, and then, the next thing you know, he's got his hands all over her teats. Good heavens, and on the first date too. But it's not just that he's milking a cow. I mean, it's a very random, impulsive thing to do, sure. The timing was a bit odd, and the image of a caped superhero in full spandex on his knees draining her dry is a wholly unique one all in of itself. But the real kicker is just how oddly intimate the whole thing is framed. A tender love song plays as you see the milk squirting out, and all the while Homie's mouth is agape, just staring awestruck at the udders. You half expect him to throw himself on the floor and suckle from the teat directly, but instead he picks up the bucket and drinks from it like a mug of coffee. So, just took the second weirdest option there. So why was this scene shot so intimately? Okay now, first of all, showrunner Eric Kripke's personal interests are really none of our business. But to give a more serious answer, this is a bit of a running theme with Homelander. It stems from severe mommy issues, being that he was raised in a lab and never really had a maternal figure in his life. He came to confide in his boss, Madeline Stillwell, as sort of a stand-in mother, and at one point laid in her lap and sucked on her fingers to simulate breastfeeding. It was comforting for him. He was also actively jealous of her actual baby when he saw her feeding him. So yes, it's an odd situation all around really. This weirdness ramped up in season 2 as Homelander's idea of mourning the now deceased Stillwell, who he himself killed, but let's not dwell on that, was to take the last batch of her breast milk, heat it up, and lap it up like a cat right from the baby bottle. So you see, now you have the proper context for the cow milking scene. It's actually fair to say that the show's been building up to this moment all along. Although, just so we're clear, as far as we can tell, there is no relation between this cow and Ms. Stillwell. Well, it's no doubt that these mommy issues were the root of the obsession. It really seems to have taken on a life of its own now. The first time he took a drink of store-bought milk was something of a religious experience for him as well. Now, what does the man behind the cape have to say about all this? In a recent interview with The Decider, Anthony Starr, the man who plays Homelander, noted the character's former obsession with breast milk specifically, and how it's expanded to all milk in general. Become a lot less discerning over time, hasn't he? He likened this most recent example as Homie going right to the source. When talking about the filming, Starr, man, with a name like that, big pressure to become a celebrity, eh? Anyway, Starr revealed that there was no TV trickery afoot with this scene. He really did get down there and milk that cow. Wow, and without a stunt double too. Isn't he daring? He was quoted as saying, "It was very weird, very intimate." Well now, there's that word again. He said it was his first time milking a cow and called it a strange and surreal experience, as you might imagine. According to him, the cow was already agitated from being cooped up all day. Quote, "And then there's some idiot in a cape down there pulling on her teats." End quote. Sounds like Bessie had a rough one that day. Let's all pour one out for her. And by pour one, I of course mean a glass of milk. Gotta stay on brand here. Anthony closed the interview by saying that the real humor of the day came from the outtakes, as getting a fed up cow to lactate proved to be quite a chore. I think I speak for all of us when I say we need to see this footage ASAP. Hashtag release the milker cut. So what about Homelander's father? We've touched on Homelander's lack of a mother, but it turns out that he does have a dear old dad. One of the big revelations of season 3 is that Soldier Boy actually made the genetic donation necessary to create Homelander, meaning that he is his biological father. Yes, the Captain America parody sired the Superman parody in this world. How about that? That realization came as a major shock to them both, to say the least, considering they were each out to kill one another at the time, and actually still seem to be. It's a complicated familial situation, but really, aren't they all? Upon confirming this for himself, Homelander was not too pleased to learn that everyone around him had hid the truth from him for so long. In fact, when teammate Black Noir admitted that he knew Soldier Boy was his dad, Homie went and gutted him on the spot. And we mean that literally. It was pretty gruesome. But once he calmed down, he was naturally very eager to join up with his father and form a super family alongside his own son Ryan. Sadly, Soldier Boy didn't feel the same way, lamenting that he wished he could have raised him so that he might turn out better, but ultimately rejecting him. Great, so now we can add daddy issues to the pile for Homie as well. But is Soldier Boy still alive? Not long after the revelation, Soldier Boy was embroiled in a battle with a truly explosive finish. During a fight against a whole slew of superpowered enemies, he began to glow with nuclear energy. He's a bit of a walking nuclear reactor in case you didn't know. Queen Maeve talked him outside of a window, theoretically sacrificing herself to save the others as she withstood the resulting explosion. However, she proved durable enough to survive it as well as the big fall from Vought Tower. Soldier Boy, of course, also survived the ordeal, albeit it led to his immediate capture. The next time we see him, he's been put on ice. Indeed, they cranked that Soldier Boy to below zero. Okay, look, we had to work that in somehow, alright? That's our way of saying that he's been put back into cryostasis and is under the surveillance of Grace Mallory and all the other suits in the CIA. As he was kept alive and is now firmly tied to one of the show's most prominent characters, it's fair to say we haven't seen the last of the angry, hyper-macho Cap wannabe. So, can we expect more milky shenanigans in the future? All signs point to yes. In case you hadn't heard, even before the last season was done airing, season 4 of The Boys has already been greenlit, and so far each season has had at least one massive standout milk moment for Homelander, so they've built up quite the expectation for the next go round. Most noteworthy though is that it seems the main reason this keeps coming up is because of Anthony Starr's own prodding, and it doesn't seem as though he's letting up anytime soon. He's gone on record to say that initially there was just one bit about milk written in, and he liked it so much that he tried to fit in a reference to the obsession wherever it might fit. He told Collider, "I've gotta be honest, some of the biggest laughs of the season when we were shooting were around trying desperately to work milk in." End quote. There you go, straight from the horse's mouth. Huh, you like that? We've got a bit of a barnyard animal theme going on now. Starr even went as far as to call it his biggest challenge, looking to cram milk into every nook and cranny of the script. Now that I've marinated on this, I'm beginning to wonder who has the bigger obsession here, Homelander or the man playing him? Well, art imitates life, as they say. But given this penchant, we're guaranteed to see more wild milk scenes in this show's future. Oh, and probably some superhero action as well, if you're into that, I suppose. And that's all the time we have for today's video. What did you think of it? Have you heard the word milk enough times for one day? Because I certainly have. What would you like to see us cover next? Leave a comment below, and until next time, thanks for watching.